Today, we're doing 3-2-1 spare ribs. Check it out. Welcome to a very foggy South Florida day. Kind of interesting. So today we are doing spare ribs on the smoker. We're going to do this using the 3-2-1 method. It's really easy to do. We're going to set the smoker at about 225 degrees. I just turned that on. So you want to go between 225 and 275. This doesn't have to be exact. But the 3-2-1 is really interesting. It's 3 hours cooked uncovered, 2 hours wrapped, the last hour for glazing and unwrapped with some kind of sauce or whatever you want to put on it. I'll show you just how we do this. Let me open this guy up and we'll get it prepped. We are definitely rolling some smoke right here. I've got the smoker set at 250 degrees and you can tell it's that white smoke. It's just now starting to catch fire, so as it comes up to temperature, let's prep our ribs. Now, between the fog and the smoke, it looks like a Halloween video here. I want to start with this. You want to trim this up a little bit, but I got to tell you, these are actually fairly lean. These are pork spare ribs from my local grocery store. You could certainly do baby back ribs. You can do them in the exact same sort of methodology. But I like these full spare ribs because it has this extra piece on it here, right? And just the ribs. So I've pulled off some of the grizzle and a little bit of the fat. Not much, just a little bit of it. Now when you're doing ribs, you'll hear people talk about the silver skin or the membrane. If you look on the back and you just take a knife or something and peel up where you can see the nice red part of the meat, you'll notice this grayish film under it. I found that the best way to do it is use the backside of a spoon. So you kind of lift it up a little bit and you start getting that spoon under there. What I like to do is loosen it up on one side completely. And I'll show you what we do here. You can see I'm loosening this up. It's not easy to hold this because it's slippery. So you'll notice what I'm going to do here is once I get an edge pulled up and started, you'll see my little trick for getting this completely pulled up. Now if the silver skin goes right to the edge, you'll notice it's a little hard to get off on the edge. It's just because where it curves around those bones, it's a little bit more challenging. So if you need to trim it a little bit with a knife, certainly feel free to do that. Now, great trick here is you take a piece of a paper towel and you fold it up and you put that over the meat so you can hold it. That keeps it from getting quite as slippery like it would on your hand. So to get a good piece started, you can actually just pull this off in one layer. Now, you can certainly eat this. It just makes it a little bit tougher. So when you're eating the ribs and the meat just wants to stick to it all together, that's that silver skin holding it all together. So I like to peel that outer layer off of here. All right, now time to get this seasoned. All right, so I like to do a dry rub on my ribs when I first start out with this 3-2-1 method. I have here salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, a little bit of seasoned salt, a little bit of slap your mama for a little bit of spice, and I did put just a bit of thyme, dried thyme in here. Not a great way to do it, but it works. So I'm just going to sprinkle this on kind of liberally, and I'm going to pat it all in here. What I love doing is just going down to a restaurant supply store or Sam's or Costco, buying salt, pepper, and garlic in those big old giant 1 pound tubs, and then you just mix up what you want based on the seasoning you're looking for. And I've made Italian flavored ones, I've made jerk ones by adding some jerk seasoning in with it. Now you can adjust it however you want, but the base is always salt, pepper, and garlic. I think that's, for me, that's the trinity, if you will. Great seasoning, great base for almost anything you're gonna grill or smoke. All right, dry my hands off, clean these, and we'll get this right on the smoker. All right, our grill is right at 225 degrees. We're just gonna put this right up here on the top shelf. Made a mess touching that. I will close this up 3 hours at 225 degrees. All right, maybe the fog will be raised next time you see me out here. That's going to go in for 3 hours. If it looks like it does any significant changes in the meantime, I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like, and I'll put a timestamp on it. But we'll see you back here in about 1 second or 3 hours later in real time. All right, so it is 2 hours and 55 minutes later. Let's call that 3 hours. And I've got some butcher paper here. When you do this, you can actually wrap it in either paper or you can do it with foil. Foil is going to tend to make it maybe a little bit more tender. The paper will give it just a little bit of a snap bite. It still gets a little bit more crust on it when we do it this way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold this a little bit this way, just so that we get a nice seal on it. And then fold this piece over. There we go. That gives us a nice, good amount of space here. All right, let me pull this out of here. I'll show you just what it looks like. The bones will just be starting to pull away at the end of 3 hours at about 270 degrees. All right, let's open this guy up. Take a look at him. Yeah, it's looking good. Got a nice little coating going here. They're starting. Let's go ahead and put this right out here on our butcher paper. All right, I'm just going to lay this right out here. Put these guys aside. So this looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this up, and then I'm going to add just a couple of bits of some kind of a liquid. I like using red wine vinegar, just something that's going to help keep this nice and moist. Now the oil from the meat will also come up on this paper. That'll help quite a bit. But we want to wrap this up good and tight. All right. I've sprinkled just a little bit of oil on my paper, and I'm doing that just because I want to get this nice and moist here around the edges where I'm going to fold it. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to sort of fold up a little bit of a well, if you will. Let's get this guy folded, this guy folded up, fold it here. Now what we want to do is we just want to roll this right over. But before we do, I'm going to add just a little spritz of some moisture down in here. This is just a little bit of water. Smoker. Just like that. I'm just going to take this and put it right back in here. Now, you want to make sure that you get it completely covered up, so if you see any openings, be sure you get those nice and sealed up. There we go. Another 2 hours, the 3-2-1 part of this, will come right on back. This is, again, I've got it set at 250 degrees, and it's running about 270. We'll let that heat back up again. All right, so my timer just went off for the end of 2 hours. We're going to go ahead and take these out, put them right here on this cutting board, and we'll check them out. They definitely feel more tender this time than they did last time. So go ahead and just get this sitting right here. All right, let's see how they look. Definitely need some more.
It says so.
It says the fact they haven't cooked long enough yet. It's not pulled back from this. It's close though. Wow. All right, it's tender. We're gonna pop them out and do a little bit of barbecue sauce on them and get them nice and crusted up. Get a nice little crust on the outside. All right, let me put this on the griddle. Let me get some barbecue sauce on this and we'll get it back on the grill. So they're almost done, but they're not quite as tender as I'd like. And honestly, they're not sweet enough. So we use a little bit of Sweet Baby Ray's, but we had some takeout along with our jar. So I'm using the takeout stuff first. Now normally you put this on for the last hour, but I'm going to wrap these and I'm going to go in for about another 45 minutes and then I'm going to crisp up any sauce on the outside of them after that with it outside of the wrap. All right, I'm going to put this back in the smoker for about another 25 minutes or so. Can you pop that open for me? All right, these have been on for about another 35 minutes or so. We're going to check them out now. Ooh, they are tender. Up, there we go.
Oh, hi, Mama.
All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to actually put some more barbecue sauce on both sides of this, and then we are going to put it back on the grill for about an hour, and that is going to get it good and barked. All right, so now we're going to put this in uncovered for an hour. That's the 3-2-1. I probably won't do it quite for an hour, but that's the whole method behind the 3-2-1 idea. All right, we'll come back and check that in a little bit. All right, this is what it looks like after that next hour on the grill. So let me pull this out and we'll give it a shot. I mean, just look at that. Holy Hannah bananas, that look good. And it looks pretty darn amazing, does it not? pull one of these guys right out of here. Oh. It's going to be hot. We'll give it a shot. Ooh, that's hot. Man, is that good. This has been in for right about 6 hours and 20 minutes. Remember, we did the 3 hours, then followed by the 2 hours, which I extended about 2.5. And then we did the last one for about 45 or 50 minutes. That is good. But I'm not going to keep munching on this because the rest of the family has been out here munching each phase of the way here. So I've got to bring this inside. Well, folks, safe and happy grilling. This is going to be good. The family's going to enjoy it. Take it on inside. Oh, good. You're still here. Hey, listen, if you really like to see these smoking recipes, check out this PitBoss smoker recipe. And down here is all the Blackstone ones. Bye, y'all.